right, this next one comes to us from user that goes by She's Dead Jim.
That's what she said.
And I think I may be incorrect here, but it feels like a StarCraft reference from back in the day.
I thought it was like a Star Trek.
Maybe it is. But I remember the phrase, he's dead, Jim, in StarCraft.
In Star what?
Craft. StarCraft. You've never heard of StarCraft? You've heard of like World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
You never heard of StarCraft?
I mean, it sounds familiar.
StarCraft was the better of the two games, but
Okay.
World of Warcraft is one that blew up. I guess StarCraft blew up too in its own right, but not to the extent.
I was thinking Star Trek.
Yeah, well, you would, wouldn't
I'm
you?
a doctor, Jim. Or wait, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a whatever.
Yeah, that sounds exactly the same as She's Dead, Jim.
Yeah. See?
Ooh, made that for you. My friend and I were driving around spotting deer, and a usually empty field on a back road was lit up like someone lit a small sun in it. As you do.
Yeah. The sun that's in the sky, not
like lit their sun on fire and it was lighting up the trees. Yeah.
That's probably not good.
Yeah, that would be frowned upon. We got a little bit closer and it went dark. And when we checked our phones after, 3 hours had passed despite the encounter lasting maybe 30 seconds. I don't talk about it because people think I'm crazy or lying when I do. Also, when I was in a coma for 4 days, it was like 4 years in my dreams. That's a little fun bonus snippet that he gave that had nothing to do with his original story, but
right.
Also interesting. 4-year dream.
I didn't
for
know
4
you
days.
dreamt when you're in a coma. Maybe different types of comas.
Perhaps. Every TV show I've ever watched, when someone's in a coma, they get the nice, like, ethereal, foggy kind of, like, effervescent.
You must go back.
Yeah. It's not your time. Yeah. Classic stuff, man. Classic stuff. Hollywood, fix it. Come up with something a little more unique.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, though? That's a lot. I've noticed a lot of these missing time stories, they just sound like alien stuff. It sounds like exclusively alien encounters.
But maybe that's because we've been trained to believe that kind of stuff is alien abduction, when in fact it could just be you slid into a different dimension for a little while.
Or the government.
Yeah. The government borrowed you.
Yeah.
They didn't really hurt you too bad. Not anything you'll remember. They just borrowed you for whatever experiments they wanted to do.
It's fine.
As long as you don't end up with cancer or, some kind of psychosis in the end, no harm, no foul.
Yeah. Thanks for your service.
Yeah.
Usually.
We'll still tax you at the same level.
Classic.
We'll still make you go to work, but you just can't talk about this at work because people will take away your work. So you just have to be quiet and conform to the world around you.
Yeah, but most likely aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go with time slips because I'm not a real believer in alien abduction.
But what would the light be then? Why would there be like a bright ass, in a lot of these stories, why is there a bright ass light?
It could be deadlights.
I don't know what that means.
It's actually
like
from Stephen.
Ghost lights?
It's like kind of like that. It's Stephen King, and deadlights is basically when you're about to die. And it's not always a good thing. It was like from the moon.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a great thing.
But it could be something as simple as that. I mean, it's pretty strange that multiple people experience this time slip. And 3 hours is a long time for a time slip. Of course, there's no way to prove it. There's no evidence. There's no, video where your phone, you're there looking at your phone and it says midnight. And then all of a sudden there's a bright flash and your phone says 3 a.m. and you can prove that it's not been doctored or something. That's what's such a headache with some of these stories. You can't find enough info.
Yeah, that's where people like you will probably never believe these stories because that quote unquote evidence does not present it. The only way for you to fully grasp onto something like this is if it happened to you, right? And even then you'd probably be like, well, the old brain, it's up there doing its thing.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to trust myself based on the way I think of the world around me and experience the world. I don't think I would just automatically, I'm a believer now. I would rationalize it in some weird way.
You wouldn't just imagine dragons that shit up?
I might, but it would. I just can't see myself just automatically turning that quickly. I'd need some supporting evidence. I would need to trust my mental status at the time.
And you don't?
If something like that happened, I might doubt it for a little bit. If that makes any sense, I might doubt my sanity. I think that's a normal thing in all the stories we hear about. People doubt their sanity.
Yeah.
And then they doubt other people will trust their sanity when they tell the story. So we lose potential evidence.
Well, that's why people don't come forward, is because they just get labeled crazy, or, oh, this lunatic over here thinks he was captured by aliens.
Yeah. And even somebody like you and I who sit here and talk about this in our podcast might be quick to judge somebody that came out and started saying that stuff to a certain extent.
I wouldn't.
Or we might look to poke holes in it, or maybe he's just crazy. Yeah. Maybe he drank too much. This one is, guys out deer spotting, probably drinking.
And you think at that moment, the alcohol just hits. And he's like, 3 hours I stood there looking at this.
Well, the problem with losing 3 hours is that's a lot of alcohol. Is it possible? Yeah, plenty of people have lost plenty of time and driven their car into places they shouldn't have been driven and killed people and not remembering any of it. Yeah. Wake up the next morning in jail and not have any recollection of it.
Yeah.
But that may not be the case this time. It could be aliens, but I would side with us slipping into some other reality for a little while more than aliens.
So you're just thinking time slip, or like I guess even dimension hopping or something like that.
Slid through a portal that might have opened up on this quiet highway. I mean, obviously it's got to be quiet, because otherwise we'd be seeing instances on a busy highway where hundreds of cars all of a sudden had this missing time.
You'd believe that.
Oh, that would make it a lot easier.
You would have literally no option but be like, I guess I believe that.
Plus you would see it on camera, because most major highways have cameras on them now.
True.
So you would all of a sudden see these cars keep going and just be like blip out for a split second and come out on the 100 feet down the road, and you'd be like, what the hell just happened? And but you wouldn't see it for hours.
True.
And then it would be devastating, because people be crashing.
People be crashing.
Yeah.